Welcome back, Tiger sports fans. I'm Lexie Manor.
And I'm Jack Woods. It is so great to be back as fall sports kick off their respective seasons.
Speaking of kickoff, the men's soccer team traveled to Georgia this weekend to play their first 2 games of the season. On Saturday, the Tigers faced off against Berry College. The Vikings started strong as they scored 2 goals in under a minute to open the scoring midway through the first half. Berry would end up scoring 1 more goal in the 89th minute to give DePauw their first loss.
Sunday, however, told a different story. The men came to prove a point, blanking Suwannee in a 1-0 win. After a scoreless first half, DePauw's Carlos Martinez was fouled by the goalkeeper, leading to a penalty. Jay Klein would step up to the spot and give DePauw their first goal of the season in the 51st minute. After holding off the fast-paced Suwannee Tigers, the men will travel back home to play Anderson on Tuesday the 3rd and will travel to Franklin to battle the Grizzlies next Tuesday.
After losing in the Bell game last year to Wabash, you know head coach Bill Lynch has his team fired up this season. Isn't that right, Jack?
That's right.
The Tigers finished off their 2018 campaign at 4-6 and graduated a big senior class. However, led by returning all-conference players Brody Jude and Ty Johnson, they'll look to start their season off well against Central College on September 14th. I'm excited for that.
Field hockey traveled to Tennessee this weekend to start the season. The Tigers started the tournament against host Suwannee. They opened the scoring just 4 minutes into the game as Kate Milner's first quarter goal gave DePauw the lead. Suwannee would respond in the second quarter, though, and both teams went into the half at a stalemate. Cathy Zesiger was having none of it, though, as she helped DePauw take back the lead. Despite Suwannee tying the game up again, just 2.5 minutes later, Kate Milner would score the eventual game-winning goal and her second goal of the game as DePauw won 3-2.
Got to give it to Kate Milner.
Got to give it to Kate Milner.
Oh, yeah. After winning on Saturday, the Tigers went into Sunday's joust against Rhodes with lots of confidence. However, the Lynx of Rhodes would quickly put DePauw on their heels with goals at the beginning and the end of the first quarter. 1 more goal in the second by Hannah Lux would give Rhodes a 3-0 lead, going into the break. After a scoreless third, the Lynx would put all doubts to rest with 2 more goals in the fourth, as the Tigers fell 0-5. The women will be off to Virginia to play Christopher Newport on Friday and Mary Washington on Saturday.
After losing 4 seniors last year, the women's tennis team will be led by junior Amanda Showalter and senior Allie Bush. Both were on last year's varsity team that ranked 35th in the nation going into conference play. Look for the Tigers to bounce back and challenge for the championship game in the spring. They'll host the DePauw Invitational on September 1st. That's going to be exciting, isn't it?
Oh, that's exciting. Didn't it happen yesterday?
That happened yesterday.
All right. Well, hey, good job. The men's tennis team only lost 2 seniors last year, but led by junior Bryce McClanahan and sophomore Wyatt Metzger, the Tigers are poised to improve upon their 3rd-place conference finish from a year ago. They'll start their season off at home as they host the DePauw Invitational on September 14th.
The volleyball team was in Chicago this weekend as they opened their 2019 campaign. The women played Wisconsin-Stevens Point in their first match and struggled early on as they lost the first set. The combination of attack errors and blocking of the pointers eventually led the Tigers dropping the last 2 sets and lost the match 3-0. What a shame.
It was the same day, different story though for DePauw. As they rallied against University of Texas Dallas, the Tigers won a close first set by a score of 25-20 and continued to gain confidence from there. DePauw managed to limit the attack errors that haunted them from the first match and grabbed their first win of the season, sweeping Texas Dallas in 3 sets. Good job, ladies.
On the final day of the tournament, DePauw played against the host, University of Chicago. A close matchup on paper, both the Maroons and the Tigers came to play on Saturday. The first set was back and forth, but Chicago had the last say as they took the set 25-23. After dropping the second set, DePauw was unable to avoid the sweep, and the Maroons took all 3 sets. DePauw dropped to 1-2, but senior outside hitter Morgan Steerley was named to the all-tournament team, finishing with 34 kills and a kill percentage of .247%. The women will be in Lansing next weekend for a conference crossover tournament. Good luck, ladies.
The men's and women's cross-country teams were rained out on Saturday. The men come into the season ranked 25th in the nation.
Wow.
And as the two-time defending NCAC champions. After losing their top 2 runners to graduation, Cole Martin is set to lead the team after finishing 15th in the region last fall. Their first meet will now be this Saturday in Grand Rapids as they start their quest to qualify for nationals for the 3rd year in a row.
Wow.
Wow, 3rd time's a charm.
On the women's side, they will look to improve on their 4th place conference finish last fall. Jenny Knoll, the NCAC Newcomer of the Year last year, and senior captain Riley Hickman both return as all-conference runners from a year ago. The young squad has plenty of freshman and sophomore talent and will look to use that heading into Saturday's meeting at Calvin College.
The 6th-ranked women's golf team took home first place at the Lynn Schweizer Invitational in Granville, Ohio. Senior Anna Foley led the team with her 2nd-place tie, shooting a 153 over 2 days. Paige Sanfilippo was right behind her, grabbing 6th place with a 160. Layla Amadi, Emily Balding, and Frankie Bell rounded out the scoring, all finishing in the top 30. The solid all-around performance helped the Tigers come away with a great result as they head north to play in the Kyle Campbell's Invitational this upcoming weekend.
The men's golf team came away with a 4th-place finish at the Transylvania Invitational in Lexington, Kentucky. After coming out of the first day in 10th place, the Tigers rebounded nicely behind a play of Nick Burris. Burris earned all tournament honors as he tied for 5th with a score of 218 over 3 rounds. Caleb Bopp shot a 223, finishing tied for 16th, and teammate Luis Esteban finished with 1 more stroke, scoring 224, good enough for a 19th place tie. They'll be back in action this upcoming weekend, traveling to Franklin for the Dr. Richard Park Invite.
And the women's soccer team, led by newly appointed head coach Cristin Allen, traveled to Dallas this weekend to open their season. In the first match against Wisconsin Oshkosh on Saturday, the Tigers went into halftime tied 1-1 with a late equalizer from Sophia Silcox. However, Oshkosh bursted out of the gates to start the second half, scoring 2 goals in the first 4 minutes, evidently handing DePauw their first loss of the season as the game finished 3-1.
The next day, DePauw faced the hosts, University of Texas Dallas. After a hotly contested first half, both teams went into the locker room tied 0-0. But no even 4 minutes into the first half, the Tigers took the lead off Anissa Norse's first goal of the season. After surrendering 2 quick goals, DePauw grabbed a late equalizer as Shali Kumar scored at the 78th minute. But it only took Texas Dallas 27 seconds to take the lead back, and the Tigers dropped to 0-2 on the season with their 2-3 loss. Good luck next time, ladies.
Our very own Michael Ocasek was able to talk with Coach Allen about her transition to DePauw, as well as her team's performance this weekend and what she expects from them moving forward. Here's Michael now.
Thank you, Lexie. I'm here joined by head women's soccer coach, Cristin Allen. Cristin, thank you so much for meeting with us. So you were at Franklin for the past 2 years, right?
Correct, yes.
How has this year so far, this preseason with your women, been compared to the past 2 years at Franklin?
I think it's 2 completely different comparisons. The expectations wherever I go as a coach are going to be the same. I think the biggest difference here has been the depth has been really huge for us, and so we've been able to go a little bit harder with the girls. We've been able to go, just longer minutes of practices because we're not so worried about injuries and how long we can go. And then I think just for me as a coach, they've done really well with their expectations. We've put some really high expectations on them as individuals and as a team, and we've pressed them pretty hard. And everything we've asked them to do, they've either accomplished or gone above and beyond. And so right now we're still focusing on obviously trying to meet those expectations and obtain new ones. But for us, we're very happy with how things have gone and where we are right now.
Yeah, and speaking of those expectations, you had 2 really close games this weekend.
Yeah.
How do you expect to build off of those and continue to improve on your season and also on a better conference finish from last year?
Yeah, I think the hard part is we got to look past the record right now and not see the losses as just that. But we talked to the team and we realized we had 70 to 80 really good minutes of play. So we're focusing on the good stuff we did during that. And then the 15 to 20 minutes where we didn't play well, what were those little things that we need to fix? and there's really nothing big that we need to fix. For the first game, it was we just weren't ready to play, and they came out and struck first both halves, and it woke us up. And unfortunately, our efforts were too little, too late. I think if we had more time, we would have gotten there. But one, we've got to learn to come out of the gates a lot quicker. Which the second game we took it to them, and we did it. So we fixed that the second game. But then the next kind of issue arose of we got to be able to, one, put our chances away, and two, be able to clear the ball out of the box a little bit better. So.
And you kind of spoke on some things that you guys have to work on moving forward. What are your goals for the end of the season? I know it's kind of early.
Sure.
But what do you have talked to your team about where you want to be come October?
Well, I think I hate to talk in terms of endpoint of, we always want to be conference champs.
Yeah.
That's always the goal, no matter what season it is. But for us, we talk more about where do we want to be beginning of conference, and that's a more cohesive unit. That's playing with more confidence. And that's being able to finish games before overtime hits. And I think a lot of last year was they got a lot of overtimes, and I think the confidence started to go away. And so I think right now we're just building a belief in that we can be good, we can finish games, we can win, and I think going into conference, that's what's most important. And then obviously getting a few conference wins early on is going to be huge. And once they start to get that feel and that belief system in themselves, then we're going to be really good.
And finally, just one word to sum up just the season, just one word to kind of bring together what you want the team to achieve and what you expect.
Success.
All right.
Whatever that means to them, we need to be successful this year.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Coach. Back to you, Lexie and Jack.
Thank you to head women's soccer coach Cristin Allen for taking the time to talk with us. Looks like the fall season is just about in full swing. Good luck to all of our Tiger athletes competing this week. And once again, I'm Jack Woods.
And real quick, before we go, Jack, I know the viewers are probably wondering, why is there a bandage on your face?
I got hit by a car.
Oh my goodness. So sending all the warmest regards to Jack as he recovers from his injury. Hopefully he'll be feeling better soon. Well, once again, I'm Lexie Manor. Join us next week for the latest and greatest in DePauw sports. Roll Tigers.
Roll Tigers.
I had to bring it up.